we're back, 6:50 on Tennessee Valley this morning. What did I say, 46 degrees? I think it's what I said.
I can't remember. I still can't get
It's close, within a
6.
degree or two. Anyhow, it's going to be a nice day today.
And it's really rather warm for the morning, I think.
Yeah.
It's in the
is.
40s right now,
yeah.
right?
Yesterday it was like 35, and this morning it's 46. So it has warmed up a little bit. We're back, and we have Teresa Warren with us. Teresa is no stranger to you, our viewers.
That's right.
She has been here before.
Good to see you again, Teresa.
Thank you.
Glad you came back today. You always have to get up early for this show.
I do. That's
And
okay.
she always wears the prettiest
I
color,
have my
purple
for my
for the
pancreatic
event.
cancer.
That's
Yeah,
right.
there you go. That's the color, isn't it?
That's the color,
That's
so-
for the organization.
Correct.
Teresa is with the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, and their goal is to advance research and support patients and create hope. And those are all good things. And she's here to tell us about a very special event that's coming up real soon, right,
Right.
Teresa?
It's next weekend. It's November the 12th at the First Tennessee Pavilion, downtown Chattanooga, and it's called the Purple Stride. Purple Stride. The website is purplestride.org. I can show you a little picture here.
Oh, yeah.
This is actually a fundraiser event that we have. We have one annually. This is our 4th one.
Great.
And all the money funded from this goes to fund research, advocacy, increase awareness of this disease. It's a deadly disease, and we're just out there trying to make a difference.
And as we
Yeah.
talked about before, there's not a lot of information.
Right.
It doesn't seem to be as much, as the other cancers, breast
Right.
cancer and things like that.
There's-
People need to be educated more.
Right. There's not as much awareness of it, because patients are diagnosed typically so late stage. And in all honesty, one of the reasons we don't get a lot of advocacy out there is that patients that are diagnosed with it, in all honesty, die way too soon, and they don't have advocates for this unless it's those of us that are left, those family members.
So you have very few survivors.
Right, we have very few survivors, and so we're trying to get out there, let people know we're out there, be aware of this cancer, be aware of this organization, and so we can increase some funding, try to make a difference in this deadly disease. As I mentioned before, it's got a 6% 5-year survival rate. It's one of the lowest. One of the lowest survival rates, 5-year survival rates, that is tracked by the National Cancer Institute or the American Cancer Society. 75% of the patients diagnosed will die within the first year of diagnosis.
Oh my.
I mean, so there's very little treatment out there.
It's hard to diagnose.
It is
too.
hard to diagnose. It's an organ that is very deep within the abdominal cavity. It's not easily detected on radiology exams, and there's not an early detection tool as some of the other major cancer killers have. Some of those have mammogram, colonoscopy, PSAs, those kind of things. There's not a tool for this cancer, and it's the 4th leading killer, and it's the 10th most commonly diagnosed cancer. But yet it gets 2% of the funding from the National Cancer Institute.
Only 2%.
Only 2%. And and like I said, there again, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, and there's not a lot of survivors with this cancer, so there's not a lot of effort has been made historically to try to do something about it. So we're out there to make people aware of us. We've gone to Washington D.C. This organization, we have Advocacy Day in Washington. And if anybody out there is interested in going, you can go to pancan.org, look at next year's dates. We've already got that set up. Last year we had all 50 states represented. We meet with our leaders there's a bill in Congress that we have introduced that will force the National Cancer Institute to address this cancer. But locally what we can do is we can get involved, come walk, come run. It's a 5K run, so those runners out there that are excited about running it's a timed run. They can get a chip, they can run. I personally will walk, but I'm not the runner. But it's a nice fall day. Hopefully it'll be nice out there, and it'll be fun. There's a kids zone. There's things for the kids to do. So it'll be fun. And the following weekend on the 19th, we have a Purple Light, and it's actually held at the Hunter Museum. And it's not a fundraiser event. It is just being held as a vigil to raise awareness for those that have been lost to this cancer, or those currently battling it.
And you're very passionate about this, obviously, and there's a reason for that. It hit close to home for you, didn't it?
Yes, it did. I lost my husband at age 56.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
From this disease, and it's a devastating diagnosis. And I remember when he first received his diagnosis, and and we were talking to the surgeon. I was, as a nurse, my hope was we could have surgery because that's the only chance of long-term survival is surgery. And I remember sitting in the surgeon's office and him saying, I can't do surgery. And I'm thinking, but you've got to do surgery. You've got to do surgery. And I remember
they don't give you much hope when you're diagnosed.
No, and only 15% of the patients diagnosed with this disease are diagnosed early enough to receive surgery. Because it's 85% of them are diagnosed late stage, so there's too advanced for surgery. So only 15% of them are diagnosed early enough for surgery. And of those 15%, 80% of those will recur within 5 years and succumb to the disease. It's just
very aggressive.
It's a very aggressive cancer, and so I remember thinking he's got to do surgery, and I kept asking him questions, and he just said he's not a candidate. And he handed me his CT scan, and when I read his CT scan, I remember thinking, he won't be here at Christmas, and this was June. But he was, but still, it was 56, and it's a deadly cancer, and we just got to increase awareness. People know we're out there, know it's a potential problem. And the thing is, this cancer is on the rise. That statistically, they've predicted a 55% increase in the number of this cancer between 2010 and 2030. There'll be 200,000 people diagnosed with this disease in the next 5 years, and only 10,000 will be alive.
Wow. So we really do need to raise awareness and generate some funds, increase research, and get that funding increased from 2% up much more than that.
And our goal locally is $55,000. Last year we raised over 50, so we're shooting for 55 this year.
Good.
And we had about 350 people turn up last year, and we've already got more than that registered this year. So purplestride.org, go to the Chattanooga site and register, come out, walk. You can register the day of the event, whatever.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, you can register the day of the event, or you can register beforehand.
And it's going to be, again, where?
At the First Tennessee Pavilion, downtown Chattanooga, November the 12th. Registration starts at 8. And the run, the 5K, the runners will start at 9. Those of us that are walking will start a little later and let them go ahead and get them. They'll go ahead and run. They'll go ahead and run all over us. So they'll let them go first.
The walkers went first, they start running past you.
Yeah, so we'll let them go first.
Well, that's a very popular venue. In fact, I was down there at that same spot for Oktoberfest a couple of weeks ago. And they were having a 5K run for something then. I'm not sure what it is. So it's a very popular venue. It's convenient, right off the interstate. So you can get down there very easily and to take part in something very important that we all do to raise awareness for this deadly disease. Before you go, for the benefit of our viewers, who is a candidate for this type of disease? Who seems to be the most affected? Who's at risk?
Well, there's not a lot of risk factors, really. African Americans have a higher risk factor, as do some of the Jewish population. They actually have a significantly higher risk. Smokers have a 20-30% of pancreatic cancer patients are smokers. My husband was not a smoker, but there's not a lot of known risk factors that you can control. It's just a disease that people get and our family history also puts you a significant increase.
Oh, really?
It doubles your risk if you've got a first-degree relative.
Genetic.
It doubles your risk.
What about people with diabetes?
Well,
because it attacks your,
because it does involve your pancreas. And really, they don't know enough about that yet. Even though the statistics have said that we'll have a 55% increase in the next 20 years, and that may be in part due to obesity in this country. And sometimes patients are diagnosed with diabetes before they're ever diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Was it there? I don't know. Is there a correlation? I don't know that either.
That's why we need more research.
That's why we need more research. And is every diabetics? Every diabetic is not going to get pancreatic cancer. I don't want to scare any diabetic out there listening, but is there a correlation down the road? I don't know. And that's what we need. We need research funding. We need to address this cancer. This cancer needs to be addressed.
Maybe if there was more information, the survival rate would go up.
And our goal is to increase it. Is to double the survival rate by 2020. And that will still only have us a 12% survival rate, but you've got to start somewhere. So 2020, our goal is to double it. And this cancer survival rate really has not substantially increased at all in the last 40 years, whereas a lot of cancers have had some substantial improvement. And we want to get there too. We want to increase our survival rate so people have hope when they have this diagnosis.
And you can help, of course, by getting involved in this event coming up next weekend. Is that right, Teresa?
Next weekend, November 12th.
November 12th at Tennessee Pavilion. For more information, go to what's the website?
Purplestride.org.
Purple Stride. That's easy to remember.
Purple
Just
Stride.
remember the purple color purple.
Right.
There was a movie, The Color Purple, which was one of my favorite movies, by the way. The Color Purple. Purplestride.org. Go online and you can find out all information about this. And if you're a runner, and a lot of people are, I'm just now beginning to take up running at the insistence of the guy that
I'm
I
a
train
walker.
with.
Me too. I'm a
And
Unless I'm running from something.
I'm not saying I'm liking it. I just said I'm starting to get
Right.
involved in it. I'm not liking it yet, but hopefully I'll get there. But it's for a great cause, and Teresa is very passionate about it, doing a great job of helping get the word out. We appreciate you coming by
we
this
appreciate
morning.
Thank you for
It's
having
good to
me.
see you
Thank you for
about it
having
again.
me.
All right. It is 7:01. We're going to come back and talk to our good buddy Alan Mincy from United Way, and he's got his arm in the sling. What's up with that? We're going to find out when we come back. Don't go away.